The damaged tomb. Does it belong to a significant family?
Significant? Not significant. Rather cursed.
Excuse me. What do you mean?
Exactly what I am saying. The Lewis family, one of the oldest families in the whole town, was once highly respected. But when Sir William was born, the last heir, it seemed God turned away from them. And if not God, the townspeople certainly did. Nobody could bear to look at his lifeless face. Even yesterday, at the funeral, the coffin was kept closed during the whole ceremony. The night's events are the punishment for our weakness. That's simply the way it is.
Wait a minute. I need to make this clear. The damaged tomb belongs to the deceased's family. The one whose funeral was held just yesterday.
Precisely. We placed Sir William Lewis's lifeless body in his tomb in the dead of night. And this morning, that same tomb was desecrated.
Father Mulcahy, can you be discreet?
I am a priest.
I was inside the tomb, despite your request not to.
Why are you telling this to me? You will confess to God, not to me.
The coffin is empty.
What? It's not possible.
Please, stay calm.
Dear Lord, but that would surely mean... Are you sure? You opened the coffin?
It was open when I stepped in.
But what shall we do now?
For now, keep it to yourself.
You can count on that. Do you realize what a scandal this is?
Leave it to us. We will solve it. It's becoming pretty complicated. I have to find out as much about the deceased as I can. Is it true, what's said about Sir William?
You mean that Sir William was a beast and a monster? Yes, that is true.
I must confess that I don't know what to think.
Who of us is able to understand God's intention? But I am sure it was not God's will that he came into this world.
What do you mean?
When he was born, it was as if he wasn't one of God's creations. He had a totally lifeless face, and those eyes. Understand me, it is not easy to talk about it.
I understand. Tell me, how did his family cope with it?
It was very difficult, especially for his mother. She just could not bear it, and eventually the strain was such that she took her own life. We had to bury her on the Gallows Hill.
Where is it?
It is a place forgotten by God, a cemetery for suicides.
And what about his father?
He disappeared the night when all the servants left the mansion. And then, only William remained with Lady Miriam, his grandmother.
All this just because he had a disfigured face?
No, of course not. When he grew older, strange stories began to be told about him. Once, it was a dead cat in his arms. Once, he was found sitting next to a dead horse. And whenever a maid disappeared, you can easily guess whose work it was said to have been. At that time, his father was still alive and kept the estate together, but that was not to last. The servants revolted, set the house on fire, and fled. His father vanished, and only ruins remained. A sad and tragic story.
I'd like to know more.
You must excuse me, Detective, but there is nothing more to say.
The coffin was closed during the whole funeral, is that right?
Yes.
By whose request?
Lady Miriam, the grandmother of the deceased, wished it so.
That's suspicious, don't you think?
I can't understand why.
I think it might have already been empty before the funeral. Perhaps it was Lady Miriam's last attempt to protect her grandson. Everybody hates him. It almost destroyed the family. If he disappeared, he would soon be forgotten about. Lady Miriam might have faked his death in the hope that is what would happen.
I am sorry, but this seems rather far-fetched to me. The absolute isolation and the permanent fear of discovery would be worse than a prison sentence.
You're right, but people sometimes do desperate things when they have no other choice. It's possible that those delinquents tried to break into the church. Perhaps the gravedigger tried to stop them, and so they killed him.
But what do the destruction of the tomb and disappearance of the body have to do with it?
It can be a provocation, or a camouflage. They try to put us off the scent.
I cannot believe it.
We're at the very beginning of the investigation. It's my duty to examine every possibility.
If I can help with anything, I am at your service.
In that case, I would like to ask you to check the church inventory, just in case something is missing.
Yes, that is a good idea. At least I can make myself useful.
If you find something out and I'm not here anymore, send a message to the station.
You can rely on me, Detective. God bless you.
The journalist finally gave up, but there's still a strange feeling in my stomach. I see Mr. Forrest gave up?
Well, sir, I would think so, only if I didn't know him.
What do you mean?
It wouldn't be in his character to leave so easily, sir.
What else could he do, in your opinion, if you know him so well?
I didn't worry as long as I had him in my sight, but now he might have found another way in. I can watch over the main gate, but the cemetery is too large. I would just like to remind you, sir, that I wanted to go to the station for support.
Thank you for the reminder, but don't worry about that. As for the journalist, he surely realized that it's useless.
If you think so, sir. You are the detective.
There's just something about it. It's really dubious that he would give up so easily. Blasted gravedigger. Stop! Stay where you are! It can't be true. How did he get here? That rascal got what he deserved. I hope he's broken something too. Just you wait. I'll get you. He's gone. I wonder how I will explain this to my superiors. He didn't break his leg, but at least the photography session is over. The journalist tried to take as many photos as he could, but he didn't have as much time as I. I think it's high time to return to the police station now. The chief inspector will most likely be back, and he might be interested in what's going on. Some of the pieces are missing. Pity. I could have put them together again. Once it'll be necessary to search the sewers, Sergeant Carter will finally be useful. How many photos did he manage to take? I wasn't away for long. Anyway, he must have known he would lose it. He didn't even try to take it. I doubt he'll return for it, but I do wonder how many pictures he managed to take with him. The glass plates are missing, so he must have taken them. He had this all planned. Detective Sergeant Briscoe. Yes, that's me. Put me through, please. Good day, sir. I have several reports. The tomb of a noble family has been destroyed, but that is not the worst part at all. The body of the deceased Sir William has probably been stolen, and... Exactly, sir. The coffin is empty. Yes, sir, I'm totally aware it is not an ordinary robbery, but I have even more news. The gravedigger was murdered. I tried to call you, but you weren't in. So I went to do the preliminary examination of the crime scene, and I secured some evidence. Yes, sir. Of course, I understand the priorities. But the murder was committed in a very brutal way. The local vicar knows about the incident, but now that you bring it up, I'm afraid an intrusive journalist managed to take a picture of the gravedigger's corpse. I don't know how it happened, but we should be ready to face certain results. The Courier, some local sheet. Of course, I realize that my career depends on that. That's why I'm asking you to entrust the case to me. I won't disappoint you, sir. You can trust me. Thank you very much for your confidence. Goodbye. That was close. That damned journalist will cause nothing but trouble. Brutality attracts people like the light attracts moths. But this is my case, and it's going to be big. And once it erupts, I'll be ready.
With Brian, you never know what's going to happen. He said a deluxe place. It'll be the same with money. I bet he has none. After all, it wasn't so bad. I stink like a horse, but I can handle that. Brian, anchor's up. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I'll wake him up by firing a cannon if I have to. If I had one. I should wake him up. Brian, anchor's up. Something fell out of his pocket. Brian should be more careful with his stuff. I've already seen stables on fire, but I guess Brian hasn't. Otherwise he wouldn't leave it here. It will be safe with me. There's plenty of wax left. It could burn for hours. Pity. I hope there were at least several drops inside. I can't wash myself without water. There's a loose splinter. A splinter might come in handy. It's stuck tight. Damn. Whoa, I hope it won't fall on my head. Allegedly, when a sailor dies, a splinter is stabbed under his nail to make sure he is not just asleep. End of lolling about, you lazy bum.
You're awake?
Yep.
You didn't stab my arse with something, did you?
Nah, you must have been dreaming. Sleeping like a log. Some things will never change. Thanks for the lodging.
Pleasant, isn't it? Some people mind the smell of the horses, but I like it here.
So, tell me, what are you up to? Apart from sleeping.
Where are you rushing to, pal?
You know where. Are you coming with me or not?
You're obsessed with getting to America. Sure, I'm coming, but we can't do it without money.
I know that. You don't need to get smart. Do you have any?
Don't worry. I chased up a job. We'll have money.
A job, you say?
Just you wait for it.
What kind of job? I want to know everything about it.
You're not going to stop it, are you? So listen. I look after horses for a fella who wants to get to his father's vault. He doesn't dare do it himself. You know these aristocrats. We agreed I'll bring him those papers and he'll pay for it. I would do it myself, you know. But I thought it would be better to have someone reliable with me. That's why you're here.
That sounds good. But maybe too good. What do you know about him?
Don't you dare try to stop me, Tim. Just try to imagine what could be inside that vault. The man only wants papers and documents, do you understand? We keep the rest, that's certain, and anything else we find around too. I can't miss it. If you're not interested, I can ask somebody else. But you can forget about America.
No, Brian, it's okay. We'll do this together. Like we used to.
Now you sound like the good old Tim. I knew you'd go with me.
Don't think I don't trust you or anything, but how are you going to do that? Robbing a vault isn't easy.
You're right, pal. We'd better think everything over in detail. The plan is as follows. Well, we'll simply go there, be quiet, and get in somehow. Then we'll find the vault, take all the stuff, and get out. Easy.
I see. And you call this a plan?
What are you complaining about this time?
Oh, jeez, Brian, wake up. This isn't like stealing apples at the market. If we get caught, we'll end up in jail.
All right, so what do you want?
A plan, you dimwit. What do you think I'm talking about? Do you really think I'll do everything myself?
Wait a minute. I chased up the job. You arranged the rest. That's fair, don't you think? However, I'm going with you just in case you blow it. We share 50-50, and that's just because you're my friend.
I might have guessed it would end up like that. Give me the address. I'll take a look around.
See? It didn't hurt. Go straight ahead, then up the street, and you'll be there in no time. It's the prestigious residential district, Paradise Street, the first house on the right. Good luck.
I don't like them. If there's something reminding me of work, then it's the dung fork. This isn't my cup of tea. I don't want to make it even worse. I already stink like a horse. Yeah, I like this place. I'll try to find out how I could get the keys. Brian was right. Only a rich family can afford a solid gate. Modern electric lights. Only the smart set can afford such a luxury. There could be a problem with lights at night, but I won't worry about that now. I can manage this even without a ladder. He's pretending to be working. That's what everybody does. Greetings. How are you?
Depends who's asking.
I was just passing by and I saw you working so hard, so I thought you might need some help.
No. Go and beg somewhere else.
I'm not a beggar, but as you wish. I won't obtrude. He's pretending to be working. I don't like the fella with the broom. I'll have to do something about him. The girl isn't bad at all. In fact, I think of her all the time. Once we're finished here, I should come to see her again. Wake up. I need your help.
Saying please would help.
Oh, stop it, Brian. I went to look over the house. Did you know anyone there? I met a servant, but he was pretty stiff. It was like talking to a brick wall.
Yeah, I know which one you mean, and you can forget it immediately. You don't have enough money to bribe him.
Oh, great. So how do we get in, smart ass?
I don't know, try a maid or something. You've always known how to deal with girls.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. So come on, you distract the servant and I'll climb over the wall.
Pal, what if something gets messed up?
Don't worry, it'll be okay. At worst, we can just pretend we're stealing apples. Come on, get up.
Yeah, go ahead, I'll join you in a minute. Yeah, I worked for a banker before, but I'm rather attracted by horses.
Really? What did he need you for?
You won't believe it. I took care of his horse until it died. Yet once in a while, he took a pretty nice sum of money to the bank, so I went with him as a bodyguard. You haven't seen so much money in your entire life?
I haven't seen more than £20 at the same time. But tell me, you never thought of bashing him and running away with the money?
Oh, no. I'm not into such things. I'm just a fair guy. What can I do?
How does Brian do that? I didn't even manage to get 3 stupid sentences out of the man. Brian will take care of him now, and I can go my way. He's a real old hand. He has a way with people like nobody else. I can manage this even without a ladder. There are too many people in the house now. I can't go there. As I can't get to the keys have to get to me. Well, the best way would be to break in through the back door. When it gets dark, nobody will see us.